Christina Universe Citizens Conscious Synergetic Thought Process presents Eon Universe, Episode 020123, on Planet Utopia, paragraphs 37 through 43. What suppresses consciousness evolution? Information of particular interest arrives at unpredictable states of mind to the observers, as yet to be resolved concerns that involve more than one problem within its local circumstance. One state of mind is asleep, as the brain's scenario of events approximates a relatively familiar landscape environment, rearranged in sizes and shapes to approximate properties, characters, articulated names and words to prompt a focused reaction. The word invokes the observer's curiosity to look in the dictionary it ordinarily refers to. The brain's mind may have conceptualized and memory stored this dictionary's contents as a redirecting basis. So the dream word prompts the awake intellect to open the dictionary's alphabetized pages as its fingers approximate the first letter in the dream word, which this morning was L. But my fingers open the dictionary at the letter I, as my attention was attracted to the word isotropic on that opening page. Coincidentally, I also had intended for days to look up the word jackal. It had popped into my head as a lyric to the song "We Are Born to Win." I did not actually specifically know what a jackal is, but the negative term fit my train of thought. I was pleasantly surprised to read in Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary 11th edition, a heavy volume, which sits on my bed within reach, that a jackal is a person who serves or collaborates with another, especially in the commission of base acts. For as long as I've been referring to RBF Synergetics and his other published books, the word isotropic, from his definition, means everywhere the same. Of course, that was his generalization, after already knowing what Webster's informed me of this morning. Isotropic exhibits properties with the same values when measured along axes in all directions. Webster's inserted an example. As velocity of light transmission. More clearly, the properties of the isotropic vector matrix IVM vector values are where every vector's mass times its velocity along omnidirectional axes is the tetrahedrons, octahedrons, and other relevant polyhedrons as interaccommodating, intertransacting, intertransforming operational field complex. The significance to consciousness evolution is integrated to be reintegrated, memory stored and restored, coinciding with conceptualities by my metaphysical intellect as a function of omnidirectional, omnicomprehensive, omnirational universe. Before falling to sleep last night, I was reading Synergetics 400.66, Basic Motions and Degrees of Freedom. What stuck in my mind was, is always evenly divisible by 6. The 6 relates to 6 degrees of freedom for further clarification. This is so because I seem more inclined to accept at least one familiar term without the concentrated focus of a research scientist. This is a pattern that eventuates in learning more along the way, to enjoy more freedom of my time in a day. The dream word, by the way, was lupus, having no connection after reading the definition in Webster's to anything on my mind. But the word lung in the same column on the same page did catch my attention for further interest. The points here seem to be coincidental to the human brain and its imagination in a local environment have the capacity to rearrange size, shape in a close approximation scenario that is similar to real estate, the property where the mind's brain is physically situate for subconsciously, consciously observing events. The events are not generalized by the observer, but perhaps metaphysical mind is in the process of doing so, correlating to intellect's written thought. It would involve consciousness evolution specific to the individual's particular circumstance, from which I can draw a more definitive conclusion correlating to concerns regarding individual freedoms of speech as an integral and essential function of any governing system's democratization process, primarily because individuals gather information to solve local problems. But most of these problems are personalized, experiential observations, articulations, reactions to the P, R, J, W, B, C, H, M circumstances. Politics, religion, justice, war, belief, complexes, hierarchical matrix. So, the governing system's isotropic vector matrix promises the potentially least aberrated phenomenon for assuring the referential populace that it is possible to be in the same systemic integrity environment. Naturally, such an omni-rational systemic environment integrity does not introduce an education system's contradictory education preferences along political preferred axes that tend to corrupt the cosmic to local problem solving objectively. The hardcover dictionary and the convenient word process dictionary play a pivotal role, as does handwriting and typing on the computer keyboard, none of which must ever be supplanted by algorithmic artificial intelligence for the sake of controlling the inputs and outputs. R. Buckminster Fuller, E.J. Applewhite must have had a combined experiences of the governing system to painstakingly compile Bucky's volumes of notes regarding his geodesic models, and specifically the vector equilibrium, from his unique perspective and experience of the cube octahedron. The physicist Robert W. Gray's diligent intellect provides the world access to synergetics on the internet from his server. It is a convenience for the researcher's explorations and applications in the geometry of thinking. This seems especially particular to a growing interest in manifesting a true democracy. Synergetic links are included here. RBF, Arba Binster Fuller. EJA, EJ Applewhite. Synergetics Table of Contents, Synergetics 100.012, Synergetics 162, Synergetics 326 through 326.50, Metaphysical and Physical Summary, Synergetics 400.66, Basic Motions and Degrees of Freedom, Synergetics 430.05, Synergetics 443.00, Vector Equilibrium as Equanimity Model, Synergetics 445.00, Frequency of Vector Equilibrium, Synergetics 501.101, Music, Micro Writer, Backing Tracks. Contact planetutopia60@gmail.com. Thank you.